Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Strong language, mature scenes, and things that go bump in the night are ahead. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to cosmic entities from the great beyond, are strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am your keeper, Keeper Michael, and we return to Arkham and our series, The Queen of the Night. We want to thank our listeners and most especially our Patreon supporters. You can choose to join them at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. And you can choose to jump over to YouTube or Twitch and see us in our other and more visual manners. We have an awful lot to get to today, but before we do, I want to make sure that our players and their characters are properly introduced, and Godspeed to them. To my right.
Hi there, this is Mike, and I'm playing Charles Thurgood, antiquarian, who is preparing himself for a visit to what might be a den of witches.
Indeed, it might be. Next to Charles.
This is Morgan, and I'm playing Annie Mae Thurgood, and our pronouns are she, her. And Annie and Charles are going to maybe try to figure out how to vanquish said witches or the master or something, and hopefully not get killed doing it.
Yes. Hope. And next to Annie Mae.
Hi, I'm Bunny. I'm playing Detective Beatrice Locke. Our pronouns are she, her.
And last but most certainly not least.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I play Catherine Chamberlain.
As we raise the curtain tonight, we return to the Thurgood residence as Detective Locke is looking for transportation.
Do you happen to own and drive a vehicle yourselves, either of you Thurgood siblings? She'll sort of look quickly between you and Annie Mae.
Yes, we do, yes. I can't remember the make and model of the car we have, but we have one. It's in the garage.
I have gotten permission to do something that I think you will like very much. I would like to deputize you two for the rest of this case, officially.
Charles's feet are now a little over 2 inches above the ground. Deputize? Well,
You'll have to swear an oath to me really quick.
Of course. Annie Mae, you hear that? We're being deputized.
Do we get weapons?
Oh, I think I have the very thing.
All right, well, prepare yourselves, and then I'll swear you both in, and then we can prepare for tonight, shall we?
Do I need a Bible or something? Or
Considering the nature of this case, couldn't hurt.
I shall go and get one from the library right away. I have a King James here somewhere. Let me see what I can find. He'll scurry off to the library and come back a few moments later with an old, battered copy of the King James. Here we are. Yes. Now, what do we need to say?
I'm going to say the bulk of it, and then when I get to a part, I will tell you when to repeat after me. All right?
Very good. Ma'am, sir, ma'am.
I hold my position and authority on behalf of the people. Through my professional and personal example, I shall uphold the public trust and meet the public's high expectations of me through observance of the Criminal Justice Code of Ethics. In reference of the law, I shall conduct my duties in good faith, with honesty, courage, and justice to the best of my ability. In doing so, I shall build the people's trust and confidence in my position. I shall not betray them by willfully abusing my powers, authority, or knowledge. And she'll gesture for you two to say your names.
Charles Thurgood.
Annie Mae. Same last name.
Being duly sworn as deputy sheriffs, shall upon oath say and affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Massachusetts, the Arkham County Code, and all the laws thereof, and that you will faithfully discharge your duties in accordance with lawful policies when this case is over.
I do.
I do.
You are officially temporary deputies of the Arkham Police.
That's quite splendid. Thank you for this great honor. I extremely grateful. I shall uphold this position to the very best of my abilities. Oh, I know what I need. And he'll disappear off again.
Oh, now he's gonna go find a weapon. I am gonna go find him and make sure he's not gonna do anything to hurt himself or others, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Yes, I'm in my study, which is my little museum of antiquities. All my prized possessions are here. There's glass cabinets with various things, and there's drawers with other items, and on the tables, and kind of everywhere, on shelves on the walls, everywhere. There's little oddities and curios and knickknacks that I've picked up on my travels, and I'm opening a drawer and take from it a kind of slightly tarnished, obviously very old state of Massachusetts police badge. Looks like it's obviously an antique. It looks like it's maybe at least 100 or more years old. Give it a little polish and pin it onto the lapel of my jacket. I say, "What do you think, Annie? It's official now. I have a badge and everything."
You look splendid, Charles. Absolutely like the real deal. Just gonna appease him.
Oh, we are the real deal, anyway. I only wish I had another one for you.
Oh, don't worry. You know what? I think people will know. They'll know when I tell them.
But what I do have here now you need to be very careful with this. And he removes a wooden box with a hinged lid on it, opens it up, and inside you can see it's lined with velvet, and lying in the velvet are two antique flintlock pistols.
Oh, Charles, where did you get these? These are beautiful.
Oh, I picked them up a few years ago in a little place I know in Boston. They are quite beautiful, aren't they? A pair of dueling pistols. But I think they will be adequate for the purposes of this particular endeavor, don't you?
Do you know if they work? Have you tested them?
I've kept them clean. I'm sure they'll be fine. I have shot, and I have gunpowder. I have everything I need to set them up for use. I mean, they're purely for protection, of course, purely for protection.
Papa and I used to go shooting guns when I was younger.
I know you are very keen on the outdoor life, and I go hunting squirrels and that sort of thing when you were younger, I recall. Or was it larger game you were after?
Mother used to make stew out of the squirrels I would bring home.
Did she now? I always wondered what that was. An auction I was at a few months ago where they had a holster and a Colt 45 that was apparently belonged to some famous gunfighter back in the last century. I bid on it, but I didn't get it. That would have been perfect for this situation. Absolutely perfect.
So why don't we should probably join them back downstairs. So we got things to do and places to go, witches to arrest probably.
Now, I was thinking about that. What do you say you and I take a little trip to the Orne Library and do some research into what precautionary measures we might be able to take, just in case? And we have seen one or two strange things over the last few days, so I am not ruling out the possibility that those we encounter might have some sort of magical defenses or something that might cause us pain and injury and harm. But I think we can take precautionary measures against that if we can only find something that will help us. And I think the Orne is the best place for that. What do you say?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Very well. Well, let us go and inform Miss Chamberlain and Detective Locke. I'm sure they have plenty that they need to be doing with the afternoon.
Yeah, the Thurgoods come back out of the study, and Detective, you see that Charles is now sporting a antique deputy's badge, and he has a box with him.
Oh, golly. All right. Charles, what a spiffy badge you have. What's in the box?
Oh, Would you like to see?
Please.
Now, bear in mind, this is purely for protection. He's just kind of hold the box and open it up. They're beauties, aren't they?
Yes, those are fantastic. I'm glad that you have them. Are you sure that they still work?
Well, they're more a measure to prevent being assailed, shall we say, rather than for actual use, if you understand what I'm saying.
So, in a pinch, if you needed to fire those, we're not sure what would happen?
I suppose in a pinch, I could always use them as a cudgel. But yes, if necessary, I have the utmost confidence in them.
Well, I'm glad that you have something to protect yourself with. I truly hope that ends up not being necessary.
As do I.
I made you something while you were away, finding your things. She will slide a paper across the table in your dining room that is like a little formal write-up of the oath you just swore, so you can keep it, because you seem like the type who'd want that.
Oh, splendid. Do you need me to sign this?
Sure, Charles. Annie Mae, would you also?
Yep, I take the pen into an inkwell, and then I sign it with flourish, big A, big M, and Thurgood.
And I do the same in beautiful, neat, very, very slowly written handwriting. Well, Detective, my sister and I are heading out this afternoon to the Orne Library to see if we can find some measures there that might assist us. Did you have plans, or were you thinking of going straight out to this farm when we determine its exact location?
A fellow detective on the force has been looking into somebody whose truck was seen that night by Robbins Hill, who, the more I've heard, the more I think is connected to all of this and might have been another body that was there that night, another person who helped. I don't know. We ruled out all the other vehicles that were near the hill, and there was a getaway vehicle that night. So somebody who could have met Myrtle while she was helped before in the area that he tends to work, landscaping, whose truck was seen that night in an area it shouldn't have been in, with no other getaway vehicles accounted for. I'm really hoping he's the lead that I need. But that also means that he might be tipped off that we know about Myrtle, if this is Myrtle that we're meeting at the cabin tonight. So he might show up tonight. And if a large man with gardening tools that are all valid weapons shows up right after us this evening because he was tipped off, I think that that's also being aware might be a possibility. So I'm going to see if I can meet up with my fellow detective. If I can't, hopefully he'll meet us there tonight. The police are stretched a little thin today with everything going on in Arkham right now. So you two got your field promotion. So we will see what happens. But that's my day, is seeing if I can meet up with Detective Stuckney and taking care of anything that Miss Chamberlain needs to before we go out there. Shall we meet on the highway towards the Fowler home this evening so that we can drive there together, just following each other, since we would hopefully will have people to arrest at the end of this?
Yes. What do you think, Annie Mae?
She's too busy reading the deputized contract. What time did you say that was?
Miss Chamberlain, you were asked to be there this evening. We didn't happen to make a formal appointment with you. There was no time. It was just evening, correct?
It was after sundown.
After sundown?
Yeah.
So that's, what, about 4 hours from now?
More or less, yes.
Sunset should be by 4:30 today. So let's meet at 4 at the south exit of town.
Yes, that sounds good. I will try to hurry Charles at the library. You know how he can, well, I know how he can be. You've learned how he can be.
My dear, you know that you are every bit as likely to spend hours poring over some of the works they have there as I am.
that's true.
We will prompt each other.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And I will prompt all of you. The group splits, because who doesn't like a good party split? Detective, you and Miss Chamberlain head out in your vehicle to meet up with Detective Stuckney, who gave you a rough idea of where he believes Willard can be found. And then the Thurgoods head to the Orrin Library. So, from what Stuckney understood and told you on the phone, he believes that there are a few properties within Arkham that are viable for his work. And it doesn't take terribly long for you to locate Stuckney's vehicle. He has one of very few official Arkham vehicles. The police department has two, and he has one. And while it is not his personal vehicle, given his age and experience, Detective Stuckney certainly treats it as if it is his. So where you find him is one of his supposed contracts, one of these residences that he does so much work at. It's a fairly luxurious space. If he's the person that keeps this as its gardener, he's clearly talented. But you find him at the Humboldt House. The car, anyways, on Derby Street. This is one of the leads that Stuckney mentioned on the phone. It's a 3-story Victorian home. From the outside, it looks like it's completely unoccupied. And Stuckney is just getting out of his car when you arrive.
Hey, Detective Stuckney.
Oh, Detective Locke, how are you?
It has been an interesting day. How are you?
Good. You see him sort of secure his police belt. Probably a simple tick, but one that has been groomed over years and years of being a detective. This house here hasn't been occupied in a few years. I went and did some checking at City Hall, and it looks like a trust pays for the house and staff to maintain it. That way it doesn't look like it's unoccupied, but from what I understand, current owner lives in Chicago. There's little interest in the family home. It is a beautiful light purple color.
Have you had any luck verifying that either this is the lead or ruled out the others yet? Like, do you know what you're getting into here? Do you need backup?
I went to a couple of other places, and I stopped out at a diner and it said that this Willard had been out there, but as soon as I arrived, they said that he'd scampered off. I have a feeling he knows we're looking for him. And he sort of leans against the side of his vehicle. Look down the fence line there.
I'll follow his gaze.
It's pretty hard to conceal a gardening work truck. That truck is large enough that you can tell that it's parked out back. My guess is he's still here.
Done good.
This is your investigation, right? And learn this is who you think was accompanying your killer? Or maybe is your killer?
I think so. I think that there's multiple killers, right? There were multiple people on that hill that night. That one person was seen taking him from the party and drugging him, potentially, and leading him to here. There was a getaway vehicle nearby, so clearly either there was a driver there or there were multiple people. There's indication that there were at least 2 to 3 people involved in this. I just think he's likely one of them, since the other vehicles in the area weren't involved. And he would have been in the right places to meet with Myrtle before. Like, it just makes sense.
You've got enough gut instinct to get the job. I mean, I worked with your father. Runs in the family. What, the car you arrived in? You have Miss Chamberlain with you?
People who seem to be involved in this case, who have also threatened her at the hospital after harming her parents and breaking into her house have asked her to meet at the old Fowler property south of town tonight. And I don't really want to leave her alone or let her go there alone tonight.
No.
Though I do believe suspects from this case will be waiting for her there if it is actually occupied. I have every intention of going and hopefully arresting them this evening before they can do any harm to Miss Chamberlain.
All right, then let's make this swift. He steps around the front of his car and begins to approach the house.
Detective Locke will follow alongside him, but just like a step behind, since he's used to being in charge of cases. I know this is my case now, but it was sort of begrudgingly that this happened to begin with. So I'm trying to show respect to him by letting him have this moment at least.
His experience does show itself. You can tell without even probably having to read different newspaper clippings from his past that when he was a much younger man, he's probably been in a few shootouts. He likely served in the war in some capacity. He's capable enough to hold his own, but age comes for us all. He walks down the path of this house, stepping very carefully on the stone walkways here. He doesn't go to the front door. He goes around the side of the house, aiming to get near this vehicle. Miss Chamberlain, are you staying in the car? Just to be clear.
No, actually, I think I would have gotten out and come with, just so that way I'm not alone. I don't know when this woman might show up again.
You really don't.
If she is like magic and has powers and shit, you know, she might come after me again if she knows I'm going to be by myself.
Okay. So you stay probably behind Detective Locke, maybe 2 or 3 steps, but just with.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to have then all of you make listen rolls. I will roll for Detective Stuckney.
I got a 16 under my 60. So
16 under 60?
So under half, but not quite that fifth.
Yeah, so close, so close.
I rolled a 25 under my 50 exactly for a hard success.
Very good. So the 2 of you get hard successes, which is fortunate because to your right, as you pass many of these grand Victorian windows on the side, you hear floorboards creaking in the house. Detective Stuckney doesn't seem to notice them, but you 2 do.
Stuckney.
He turns. What?
Do you hear that? And I'll point it out to him.
He seems to lean towards the house and listen. You go around front, I'll go around back, he whispers to you.
Okay.
He heads around back.
I'll motion for Miss Chamberlain to follow me.
You head around front.
Then I head around front.
It isn't too terribly much longer before you hear a crash at the back of the house. And I'm going to ask you what you're going to do before something happens. Are you going to take any action? Are you going to wait?
Did I make it all the way to the front door?
You did make it to the front door before the crash happens.
I'm going to get like right up against by where the front door would open. So just to the side of the side it would open to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so I'm going to press against the house to the side of the door. And I'm going to motion for Miss Chamberlain to get down.
I'll crouch.
You crouch. Detective Locke, you hear a bunch of running through the house. You hear another clatter. And then you hear the first of 2 gunshots go off inside the house. Yeah, there are 2 shots from what sound like a revolver in the house. And you hear, Arkham Police Department, freeze, stay where you are.
Having heard gunshots, I will enter the house.
Okay. So the door is not unlocked. There are ways to get into the house without getting through the door lock, but you'd have to just make that decision for yourself. There is a window you could potentially crash through or at least look through.
I'd like to look through the window.
Okay, you look through the window. Through a series of doors, you can see towards the back of the house. You see a haggard, older man trying very hard to run away. He has a shovel in his hand, and he's running towards the front of the house. And you can just see beyond him, like sort of through like maybe a dining room and then maybe into a kitchen. You can see Stuckney with his pistol, or someone you assume is Stuckney with his pistol, sort of in the kitchen, trying to come forward into the house. And there is an older man, again, with said shovel, who is running towards the front door.
Okay. I'm going to whisper incoming to Miss Chamberlain, and I'm going to sort of aim my gun at the door and wait.
Okay. Moments later, you hear a furious amount of clattering at the door, like locks being unlocked, and then the handle gets pulled on, and you hear the great door of this home creak open. And a man in gardening clothes with a shovel in his hand first steps out onto the porch, where you could potentially interact with him in some fashion.
Freeze, accomplice.
Okay, so I love this as a social combat role.
I mean, there's a gun being pointed at him.
I know, which is why I'm going to give you advantage on this roll.
Okay.
I'm going to assume it's a persuade roll, although I would be perfectly reasonable to intimidation would be perfectly reasonable.
Persuade's good for me. I'm fine with it being persuade. Fuck. Oh my god. That's a 6.
Oh gosh.
That's my 5th.
Welcome, Dano.
Exactly.
You brandish the firearm. You tell him to freeze, Arkham Police Department. And he locks up, like stiffer than a board. And the shovel sort of clatters to the ground, and he raises his hands in the air. No. I'm sorry. Miss Chamberlain, what are you doing?
I'm waiting. I don't have a weapon, and if he looks like he's surrendering, I don't really feel a need to pounce or try to scratch his eyes out, even though I want to, because I don't know if he has involvement with this woman who attacked my parents.
Okay. A few seconds later, Stuckney barrels out of the door and ropes his arm around this older man's body. You hear like the grunt from who you assume is Maurice Willard. You stay where you are.
State your name and what you're doing on this property.
I'm Maurice Willard. I'm the groundskeeper. Groundskeeper, huh? You keep a 2-shot pistol with you for some reason? Firing an officer law is a felony, you understand. You see Willard sort of give up struggling, and Stuckney sits him on one of these, like a small bench that they have here on the porch, because it's a pretty wide Victorian porch. Now talk, you hear him say. He looks at you.
What were you doing the night of Halloween?
He keeps his eyes down. He does not answer you.
I'm going to move so I can try to better see his face. Because at this point, I want to look for reactions to words, even if he's not going to answer me verbally. Do you happen to know a woman named Myrtle?
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe? When was the last time you saw her?
He keeps his eyes down.
So I'm going to ask you again, what were you up to on Halloween?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay, why doesn't it matter? Enlighten me.
She's here.
She's here.
He looks up at you with 2 crazed eyes. And he says, the Queen of the Night is here. None of you matter anymore.
All right. Where is Myrtle?
I don't know, but wherever she is, I know that she can feel how devoted I am.
I'm going to look to Stuckney. All of that is confirmation that he is involved. I mean, that sounds absolutely like confessing that he's involved in what I'm investigating, so thank you for helping me tie up a loose thread here. Sir, so you're devoted to Myrtle and this Queen of the Night. You tried to shoot an officer twice. Are you sure there's nothing else you want to say for yourself this evening? At all? Because for shooting at an officer, we will have to take you to the station.
I did what was right.
And what was that?
I stayed devoted. I did what she asked.
Up on Robin's Hill?
Yeah.
Who else helped you do what she asked up on Robin's Hill?
Who else? She doesn't need anyone else. I'm here for her.
Oh, you think it's just you? Okay.
He looks horrified. Who else would it be?
Well, you and her were up on the hill, and your truck that night was the getaway car. Nobody else was involved at the party picking him up. It was her.
He looks genuinely confused.
Sir, we're going to take you to the station where we're going to have a long conversation later. And we're going to round up her and her other helpers. She's just going to kind of gesture for Stuckney to take him to his car.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Stuckney looks baffled by like this sudden turn of events, and he puts handcuffs on the older man and begins to sort of march him down to his car.
As soon as I think that they're fully out of earshot, I'll say to Miss Chamberlain, well, at least the poor soul just confirmed that not only was nobody else helping them that night, but that he was horrified at the idea that anyone else would be helping her, so it should just be her now.
I hope so.
Here's the thing, right? Sometimes the words that people say when they think they're not answering tell you more than if they chose to answer you directly. So hopefully it's just her that we'll be meeting outside of town this evening. So considering the damage at your home and to your parents, I'm not going to pretend like she won't be formidable in some way or another.
Oh no, I'm sure she is.
I feel like if he's holed up here and he's her main helper, that it would be remiss for us to not search this property as well before we leave. I'd like you to stay close to me.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
So a search of the property reveals a couple of things. The home itself is essentially completely unused. There's not even furniture in it. The carriage house at the rear of the property, though, has been in use, and it's been in use for some time. The truck is parked outside. Most of the ground floor space has sort of been overtaken by Maurice's gardening gear. The apartment above is squalid and sort of noisome. There's no plumbing at all, which is kind of concerning. There does appear to be several pieces here in the home, in this carriage house, that are, well, interesting. In the stove of the carriage house, you would find a small remnants and fragments of charred bone.
Oh. Do they look human to me?
Yeah, yes, they do.
Okay.
They do appear to be human.
I will note where they were and keep looking unless that's the last thing to find here.
Yeah, I mean, spending an hour or so at the carriage house doing a sort of full breakdown, it is most of what you find. Although you, interestingly enough, do find flowers, ones that are reminiscent of the ones that you found at Robin's Hill. You find them arranged, and you find that Mr. Willard has potted a few of them. And he also has plants that you haven't seen before. You don't know where they come from. They're flowering plants, but you don't know where they come from.
Miss Chamberlain?
Yes, detective.
Do any of these mean anything to you? I only ask because you seem to have an interest in these types of things. Skulk around just the right places to be somebody interested in these things.
I don't know whether to be applauded or insulted?
Let's go with flattered, not insulted. I'm saying that I'm depending on knowledge you potentially possess that I definitely don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a horticulturist, but Keeper, is there something?
Yes, there's actually a skill. There's certainly a skill in Call of Cthulhu for this. It would be called Natural World.
Oh, I do have that. I have a very good base 10.
Yeah, this is definitely a natural roll. Good luck.
Fuck it. I'll burn the 14 points of luck to make that a success.
Okay, very good. You burn the luck. And in doing so, you remember in some of your studies around university, you had to take a few, well, maybe not horticultural classes, but adjacent studies. And it reminds you of plants that you know grow really only in wetland areas that have sort of a bog or swamp-like nature. These plants are kept not in a regular container by any means, that there is actually an awful lot of water in this one specific space.
Okay. Would I know the names of the plants, or would I just recognize them kind of, sort of?
Yeah, without a hard success, you wouldn't notice like the names and stuff, but you would know that this is more swamp stuff than it would just be regular, everyday plants.
You mentioned that they're not in a normal container. What kind of container are they in?
So they are in a tray that runs sort of the length of one of the walls here. And it looks like it collects rainwater. And then someone probably cycles additional water into it every day to keep them sort of submerged.
I'm trying to figure out how difficult it'd be to move this container into the back of the bed of my truck.
Exceedingly difficult.
Okay. Makes sense.
Detective, the only thing that I really know is that these are plants that require like a lot of water. They're usually like in a place that's a little bit more like muddy or marshy or swamp like. But I don't know the names of them. But I recognize them from just around the area.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my truck and I'm going to grab some of the bags I keep for evidence, and I'll gather some of the charred bones and I'll gather some of the flowers, and I'll gather what can be taken with me of the unusual things that you've mentioned I found, both for evidence for the police station but also to ask the Thurgoods if they have any thoughts. Annie Mae seems like she might know why these flowers might be important to what happened on the hill, as well as continually being used. She seems like the type.
You could certainly take one of the many blooms that is here as evidence.
Yeah. I again, you mentioned the tray is too big, so I'm just taking some of the blooms and gathering what's collectible.
Okay. You collect them. You spend some time at the carriage house doing that, and we will move then to the Orne Library. So the Thurgoods go to the Orne Library, and in doing so, they hope to gain some semblance of understanding when it comes to what they might be up against. Perhaps there is a nugget of knowledge in Fair Arkham's past that they can glean from. Now, the Orne Library is a place that they have been many times, and so I'm going to ask them specifically what they're hunting for.
I think Charles is looking for something that tells him a bit more about the rites and rituals that historically and in folklore were attributed to witches, members of covens, that sort of thing, and what protections might be appropriate against an attack from somebody with command of those kind of forces.
Well, I'm going to call for library use roll then.
Oh, absolutely. Shall roll my dice. That is a 61 over 45, which is not a success. However, I am willing to push that roll.
Oh, I would love for you to tell the audience at home how you're going to do so.
I'm going to accost a member of the library staff and complain bitterly about the categorization of the different books within the library that might refer to that kind of subject. I've tried in the folklore section, I've tried in the history section, I've tried in the local history section, and I can't find what I'm looking for. Are you sure that you haven't miscategorized it?
Okay. You accost them verbally, of course, not physically.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Oh, crikey, Charles wouldn't know how to accost someone physically. Let's just see if I alienate the staff at the old library. I rolled a 40 under 45.
Ooh. Successful push, then. Your voice gets a little high. You get a little animated. You get a little louder than you'd like. And you get a little louder than you normally would. This is probably something that barring any immediate interaction from Annie Mae is something that she would pick up on. But you hear the sort of caramel and honeyed tones with the age of wisdom behind it of someone you've heard before. A certain doctor who frequents this library. And that would be Dr. Henry Armitage.
Yes, I think I've probably been waving my badge at the poor junior member of staff who I've been harassing. Just, don't you know who I am? I'm an elected official of the Arkham Police Constabulary.
You do so, and you get the even response of, Charles, is there a problem?
Oh, Henry, thank goodness you're here. This young man doesn't seem to know his Dante from his Robert Louis Stevenson.
It'll be all right. Why don't you let me know what you're looking for, and I'll have Gregory there go back to periodicals. He sort of waves the junior member of staff away.
And I will explain what I'm looking for. I'm looking historical references and folklore references to members of covens, witches, warlocks, and that sort of thing. Their practices, and the types of enchantments that they might use, and their methodology, and ways that one might protect oneself from such.
This seems a strange topic for you to be researching now, especially with such intensity.
I have been deputized into the Arkham Police Department, and it is pertinent to the current investigation in which I am engaged in association with the Arkham PD, of course. I'm afraid I can't say any more. It's all very hush-hush.
Very well. Then are you meaning to say that on the legal basis that you are a member of the police department, you are attempting to inquire or engage in material which might be assisting in your investigation?
I couldn't have put it better myself, Henry.
Very well, come with me. He turns around.
And I shall proudly walk after him.
So, Annie Mae, while this is going on, what are you up to in the library there?
I am going to be looking for documentation, books, newspaper clippings, whatever maybe, regarding things referring to the master. And also, trying to find ways that in previous instances, how we would vanquish such a person or individual or being or whatever.
Okay, that would be one heck of a library use roll, but I invite you to it, so.
I got an extreme success. I got a 6 under 45.
Okay, so I love this. You slipped away from Charles early on, and the reason why you didn't really hear much of anything that's going on is because you managed to slip sort of between a couple of different bookcases, and you found your way, oddly enough, into like this back filing area, and it's full of dust, but it's full of a bunch of old books. It's no more than like a 10-foot by 10-foot section of the library here. And there's just a bunch of books here that are out of file. Nothing is marked per se. There's no sections here. It seems like someone's quiet, cautiously prepared personal book collection. And so you're thumbing through some pages here, trying to find a few things. And as far as looking for things like the master or stuff like that, the wealth of tomes that are here, just looking for a single word would take, or reference could take days. But your ears pick up soon thereafter, probably a good maybe minute or two, your ears pick up on like a rolling cart and the sound of a couple of heavy footsteps, which are coming behind you.
For my kneeling position on the ground where I've laid out some books to start reading, I kind of like whip around. I stand up, and you know how you're being caught doing something you're not supposed to be doing? It's one of those instances.
Okay, sure.
Stand up quickly, and I look behind me.
You look behind you and you see Dr. Henry Armitage with your brother in tow. Oh, Miss Thurgood, I see you've helped yourself to my personal collection.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Armitage. I just kind of found my way back here, and you have a fascinating collection. And
this is the staff section of the library.
well, I mean, I work for the university.
Yes, but you're not a member of library staff. As the 2 signs you passed clearly state, you should be to be in this section. There's a reason why we keep some of these books away from the hands of those who are perhaps a bit adventurous. He steps closer and back into where you are and looks at the books that you have arrayed.
Point me in the right direction. I'm just looking for instances where there was perhaps a supernatural entity or a human with extraordinary powers, usually in the form of a man that people would do things for. Here now they call him the Master, but maybe in a previous iteration he was called something else. You know, you've seen this throughout history with the Egyptians and the Norse, and I mean, anything you can help provide would be wonderful, and how to vanquish them would be even better.
Vanquish?
Yes.
Yes, it says something truly medieval is going on, I see.
Yeah, I'm not really at liberty to give a lot of information, but yeah, you are on the right track.
And yet that I am supposed to be at the livery of handing over important documents and books to people who are, let me think, deputized.
Oh, Charles, did you pull that card?
You see him still gesturing to the badge pinned on him.
Oh, I mean, this is a very vital part of the investigation. Henry, I'm sure you understand. If we are to assist to the best of our capabilities, we require access to the items and the knowledge and the experience which your wonderful library here, and you yourself, my dear friend, you yourself, hold.
All right. Let me be as clear about this as I can. It stays between the 3 of us. Do you understand?
Of course.
Of course.
There are knowledges which are outside of the standard scientific purview you understand. Advanced mathematics, alchemical compositions lost in time, and history is rife with those who would call to the sky in hopes of being answered by some invisible force, whether it be for good or for ill. In my studies, what I have been able to uncover is that there are groups of these people who believe that they can contact and channel these unknowable forces. I believe that 9/10 of them are raving lunatics that have no basis in anything close to being something concerning. It is within that singular 1 of 10 which I have been focused and most concerned.
I see. Go on.
I believe that there are things in Arkham which are more dangerous and older than we know. As for your questions on the Master, anyone could be called Master. It was unfortunately a word used very often in our own history to the south. But that is not what this person is trying to convey. I think what they mean to say is that they are a devotee. They are some initiate, some one who has learned and waiting to help. The books I have here are a wealth of potential information to both of you, but may I ask the expediency in which you need it?
Yesterday.
It is of the highest urgency.
Then that is the true trouble here, Thurgoods. The knowledge that I have could be gleaned and used potentially, but time is the limiting factor. I have gleaned some things, and I could offer you perhaps somewhat of a temporary assistance, I believe.
Anything you can offer would be wonderful, Dr. Armitage.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We don't want to take books. We just want, if I need to write something down.
If I may, Annie May, taking books was never an option. But
She looks down at her dress and slowly pulls a book out.
Oh, Annie May.
What? I was gonna bring it back, Charles.
You know this isn't a lending library. Bring a notepad and pencil.
here, he tucks into his jacket pocket, interior one, and plucks out 2 discs, perhaps about 3 or so inches in diameter. On them, there is a strange symbol scrawled. Hold these very close to you. If you come upon someone whom wishes you harm, for by force or other means, I believe they will protect you. In the future, I will invite the both of you back to a small study group that I am forming. It will be held upstairs. It will not to be spoken of to anyone else. Not the police, not the book club, not the Arkham Historical Society. No one will know.
Henry, you never cease to amaze me.
Well, thank you, Dr. Armitage, for including us. I greatly look forward to the continued studies and discussions.
What is this symbol? I don't recognize it. Some arcane, hidden knowledge of some kind?
It's interesting for you both. The symbol itself looks very much like a star pattern, but there are some differences to it. There are letters in a language you do not understand or speak, but they're definitely glyphs or letters that ring the outside of this disc. There is a swept star, so it's not completely straight lines. There are bends and curves to it, but it does make a star pattern. In the center of it, there is an eye, and that eye appears as if it's on fire.
Do the symbols, letters, or glyphs around the edge, do they look similar to what was on the silver bowl?
Yes, they do look like they're in a similar tongue, yes.
I think we've taken up quite enough of your time today, Henry. Annie May, shall we return and prepare ourselves?
Yes, Charles, that sounds great. Let me just put these books I had on the ground back in their appropriate places before we leave. I don't want to leave Dr. Armitage's private collection in a mess.
No, Miss Thurgood. I will attend to it. It is clear that I can no longer keep it here. He sort of smirks. I'll simply create a restricted section.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
Well, thank you for your help again, Dr. Armitage. We really appreciate it. And she holds the disc close to her.
Godspeed.
We will see each other again soon. I have no doubt of that, Henry.
He shakes your hand, Charles.
I will warmly return the handshake.
And then sees you out of the staff area of the library. And I'm going to see us out of this episode. So the stage is set. The players are here. We're all in motion. And now we're going to go visit a cottage, I think, in the near future. So thank you and good night.